Hello and welcome to you all in the next session from the design pattern series, and in this video we are going to learn about strategy design pattern. This is basically the behavioral design pattern, and this lets you choose the algorithm to be executed at runtime from the group of algorithms. That means instead of having a hard-coded data flow in your code for the execution of the single algorithm, you can select your algorithm dynamically from the group of algorithms on the basis of the instructions that your code receives at the runtime. This design pattern also helps you in terms of organizing the code, where your different algorithms can vary independently with the time from the code that is basically using it. So to make the situation a little bit more clear, where exactly you should use a strategy design pattern, let me explain you a scenario. Suppose you are having a problem, and to solve that problem you could have a group of algorithms, but the selection of a particular algorithm is completely dependent upon a specific situation. Let's try to understand with the help of a practical example. In your car, you can have multiple acceleration algorithm, but selection of a particular algorithm is completely dependent upon the track on which you are driving your car. Similarly, in your car you can have multiple fuel efficiency algorithms also, but they are dependent upon your driving style. So whenever in your project or in your application you are in the situation that to solve a problem you can have a group of algorithms, and to select a particular algorithm you need to fulfill a criteria, then this particular situation is the best case to use the strategy design pattern. If you look into the structure of a strategy design pattern, there are majorly three components. Number one, strategy protocol. Number two, concrete strategy. And number three, context object. Strategy protocol is basically the blueprint that defines the common behavior among all the algorithms, and concrete strategy is the class that implements a strategy protocol and gives you the actual implementation of the algorithm. And context object is the class that basically holds the reference of the strategy protocol object, and at the runtime when a specific condition get met, it basically delegates the execution of the most appropriate algorithm. So if you are going to implement the strategy design pattern in your code, basically you need to maintain these three components. Now you have the full conceptual understanding of the strategy design pattern. So this is the best time to jump into the code implementation. For the demonstration purpose, I am taking here example of the e-commerce application skeleton that is basically having two payment methods, either with the help of credit card or with the help of the PayPal, whether user decide to pay for a particular product. So from the diagram, you already remember that whenever you want to implement the strategy design pattern in your code, you need to maintain basically three components. Number one is the strategy protocol or the strategy interface. Number two is concrete strategy. Number three is the context. So if you look into the two payment methods, that is credit card payment or the PayPal payment, the common behavior between these two payment strategy is to pay basically a particular amount. That's why our strategy protocol is having this common behavior implemented with the help of this particular function. So in the payment strategy protocol, we are having this function pay that is taking an argument of a particular amount, and now there are two payment methods. So that's why we are having two payment strategies. These are implemented in the form of concrete class, that is credit card payment, and the PayPal payment, that is confirming payment strategy. For the demonstration simplicity purpose, we are not jumping into the actual implementation of the credit card payment and the PayPal payment, because the objective of this particular session is to make you understand that how exactly you should be maintaining the code while implementing the strategy design pattern. And now jump into the third component of strategy design pattern, that is the context class. So context class is basically having the property payment strategy, that is of type payment strategy protocol. This function is basically working as a setter for this particular property, and this shopping cart class that is working as the context component of the strategy design pattern, having a method checkout, and that is basically calling the common behavior, that is to pay on that payment strategy. And now take a look to the client code, where exactly you are using these strategy on the basis of the client selection. So if client has selected the credit card payment, then you are setting the strategy as the credit card payment and calling the checkout method on this particular context object. And similarly, if user has selected the PayPal payment, then you are calling the checkout method on this particular
context object. Now see the beauty of this particular implementation. Doesn't matter how your credit card payment strategy or the credit card payment algorithms or the structure or for the PayPal also getting changed over time, your client code is not getting affected. The only thing is, if you are able to maintain these two classes in a separate file, you can change them with the time. Whenever you want to do any kind of implementation update, then you can do them independently. There is no impact on the client code, and on the basis of the dynamic condition, you can select that which particular strategy to be executed. So this is the very basic or the very simple example, but you can opt this particular pattern to implement the more complex structure where there could be multiple dynamic condition. On the basis of that, you need to select a particular algorithm. So now you understand the coding implementation also. I hope this will help you in terms of understanding this particular design pattern in a better way.
If you like this session or having any kind of feedback, then do let us know in the comment section. For more learning, stay tuned to our channel, stay motivated and keep learning with us. Thank you.